Good day everyone. In today's lecture, we will be discussing about three-phase semi-converters. As we have already discussed, in a three-phase half-wave converter, we only have 3 SCRs we have, while in a three-phase full-wave converter, we have 6 SCRs we are having, and in a semi-converter, we only have 3 SCRs and 3 diodes. So we will be discussing how this circuit is working, and for different firing angles, what are the operation and what are the waveforms that we will be getting. This is the circuit diagram for a three-phase semi-converter. Now when we are looking at a three-phase semi-converter, here we have 3 SCRs and 3 diodes that are connected to the supply. 3 diodes connected to the supply. Then we have one more diode that is called as the freewheeling diode. That is totally here we have 3 SCRs, 3 diodes which are connected to the supply and one freewheeling diode. So here we can see that the SCR and the diode pair, that is if I am talking about VAB supply, so VAB supply will be in this manner. So here the diode pair, that is T1 and D2, both of this will conduct for a period of 120 degree. Now let us discuss about how this is going to perform. Now for example, if I am going to give the firing at 0 degree, as in the previous case, as for a full converter, three-phase full converter, the conduction of T1 will start at alpha plus 60 degree. For example, if the alpha is 0, that means T1 will start conducting at 60 degree. Now let me change it. That is, if my alpha is 15 degree, my conduction will start as 15 plus 60, that is my conduction will start at 75 degree. So here we can see that here if I am talking about VAB phase, so in VAB phase I have one thyristor and one diode. As we know that diode, it will try to conduct for the whole period, and thyristor will conduct for the period from where it is receiving a forward pulse. Now we have to keep this thing in mind. And one more thing that we have to keep here in mind is that if the firing angle is less than 60 degree, I'll get 2 peaks I'll get, and if the firing angle is greater than 60 degree, I'll be getting only 1 peak. Now what is this? We'll be discussing it in the diagrams that we are going to see. Now let us see it for the operation. Now in the operation, as I have said, if the firing angle is 0 degree, if the firing angle is 0 degree means the firing is given at this. Now to this I have to add 60, so this is 60. For example, let us consider this to be a full wave. This is 160, 120 and 80. 60, 120, 180. So if I am giving the firing pulse at 0, so it means that my thyristor will turn on at this duration, that is T1. So as I have said, the T1 and the diode pair, it will conduct for 120 degree, that is 60, 120. So after 120 degree, my thyristor T2 will turn on. Again after 120 degree, my thyristor T3 will turn on. My thyristor T3 will turn on. So from this it is quite clear. Now let us look at the waveform. So looking at the waveform, the three-phase waveform that we have drawn yesterday, as we know that for full converters we have drawn a three-phase waveform. That three-phase waveform with line voltages, the three-phase waveform with line voltages, where I am getting 6 peaks. I am getting, that is VAB, VAC, VBC, VBA, VCA and VCB. In that manner, the 6 peaks that we are getting, for that peaks I am considering only the upper portion of that waveform. I am considering only the upper portion. Why? Because I am not concerned about the lower portion conduction, because I am having a diode. So when diode is present, so it clearly means that, so this is something like this in series. So it clearly means that for the negative portion no conduction will be there. Why? Because this is connected in series, so diode will be turned off for the reverse bias duration. So only thyristor it cannot conduct. So therefore I am not considering the negative portion. I am considering only the positive portion of the supply of the diagram. So here we can clearly see that my thyristor T1, it will conduct for VAB and VAC. Thyristor T2 will conduct for VBC, VBA, and T3 will conduct for VCA and VCB. Now let us start here. Now thyristor T1 is conducting at this duration, so it will conduct for VAB and VAC. Thyristor T2, it will conduct for VBC and VBA. T3 will conduct for VCA and VBA. So here we can see that So as I have said, if the firing angle is less than 60 degrees, so for one thyristor, I will get two peaks. So it is quite clear here that from here to here, the thyristor is conducting. So one peak of VAB and one peak of VAC we are getting. Thyristor T2 and in between conduction, that is in between the conduction period of T2 turning on and T3 getting turned on, I am getting two peaks, VBC and VBA. In this similar manner, between T3 and T1 I am getting VCA and VCB. So here it is quite clear that when the firing angle is less than 60 degrees, so this will be the output that I am getting, two peaks because of T1, two peaks because of T2, two peaks because of T3. In this manner the sequence will keep on continuing. So here the sequence is T1, T2, T3, then again T1, T2, T3. In this manner the sequence will keep on progressing further. Now let us look for the next case. Now if the firing angle is 15 degree. Now if the firing angle is 15 degree, it means that this is 0 degree firing. So if for the firing angle is 15 degree. Now let us look at this. Now this is one full peak. As I have said, this is 60 degree. So this means that this is going to be 30 degree. So 15 degree is somewhere going to be here. So this is 15 degree. That is, this is 15 degree where I am giving the firing pulse. Now to that I have to add 60 degree. So the adding, we can clearly see that. So this is 15 plus 30, 45, 45 plus 15. So somewhere here my thyristor will turn on. That is in between this is 60 and 90. In between this somewhere my thyristor T1 will turn on, and with that I have to add 120 degree. So adding 120 degree, here my second thyristor will turn on. Adding 120 degree again, my thyristor T3 will turn on. Now from this waveform we can clearly see that that is from this portion T1 will start conducting. So VAB it will conduct, VAC it will conduct, then T2 will turn on, VBC it will conduct, VBA it will conduct. So compared to the previous portion, there is conduction, but we can see that the duration of VAB has reduced. In the similar manner, moving further, for 60 degree, looking at 60 degree, we'll just stop with here. That is if alpha is less than 60 degree. Now if alpha is becoming greater than 60 degree, or if alpha is equal to 60 degree, that is the second case that we are considering. Let us consider when alpha is becoming 60 degree. So here we can see that this is the duration, this is my 0, 60 is here. So at 60 I am giving my firing pulse. So where at 60 if I am giving the firing pulse, then it will start at this duration, that is T1 will fire at this duration. Now when T1 is firing at this duration, it can be clearly seen that peak of VAB has completed. So peak of VAC is starting. So peak value, that is VAB is going downwards and VAC is increasing. So VAC is dominating. So VAC, I'll be getting the waveform for VAC. So in this manner till here I'll get, then again here we can see that T2 is getting fired. So again VBA dominates, VBC is going in the downward, that is decreasing, then again VBA will dominate. So in this manner I can clearly make out here that here I'll get VAC. When VAC is getting completed, again T2 will turn on, I'll get VBA. In this manner I'll get the conduction. The previous conduction it will be as I've said, the sequence T1, T2, T3 is followed. So before T1 maybe there was some T3. So this is because of the previous T3. This is the output waveform that I am getting. So clearly we can see here that T1 is conducting, T2 is conducting, T3 is conducting. So here I am getting only one peak, but in the previous cases I was getting two peaks but here I am getting only one peak. So these are the two different scenarios. Now if the firing angle is equal to 90 degree means this is my 60, 120, 180. So this is 90 degree. So at 90 degree firing is given. So that means here, from here it will start. From here my thyristor T1 will start conducting. Thyristor T1 is conducting. Again I can see that I have to add 120 degree. So this is 60, this is 120. From here only thyristor T2 will start. So here I will get a 0 portion. I will get T2 will start conducting here, T1 will start conducting here. So here I will be getting a 0 portion. I will be getting. Let us look at the waveform. The waveform is quite clear. T1 is conducting, a 0 portion is there, and then again T2 is conducting. Now as we have clearly said earlier, we know that the phase sequence, the phase sequence will proceed in the that is the phase sequence that will be followed is VAB, VAC, VBC, then VAB. In this manner the phase sequence will be followed. So it is taken care that, now let me write it, VAB, VAC. So this means that first I'll be getting VAB. For getting VAB, what has to conduct? T1 and D2 has to conduct. For getting VAC, what has to conduct? For getting VAC, T1 and D3 has to conduct. So we have to keep this thing in mind for following this pattern. So clearly we can see here that initially I am getting conduction because of T1 D2, then I am getting conduction because of T1 D3. So in this manner what will happen is the diodes will work depending on what phase sequence has to be followed. Now let us look into when the firing angle is 120 degree. When the firing angle is 120 degree, so this is my this is 0, 120 degree is somewhere here. If the firing angle is 120 degree, after 60, that is from here, my thyristor will start conduction, but my thyristor will start conduction from here. So it means that T1, this is the portion of T1 that I'll get. But when we are looking here, we can clearly see that E, the value of E is dominating. Therefore I'll get a small portion because of E, then I'll get the waveform because of my thyristor conducting. So in this manner, small portion because of E, then I'll get the thyristor conducting, because this is quite clear from the waveforms. Looking here, that is for 0, this is 60, 120, so 120 plus 60. From here my thyristor will start conducting. So I can see that this is the negative portion that I'll be getting. This is the negative portion that I'll be getting. Now clearly we can see here that this portion also I'll get because E is dominating in this portion, and this is the waveform that I'll get. I am not talking about the current waveforms, because we have clearly discussed, if R is there, V and I will be in phase. If RL load is there, current will lag voltage, RLE, the same condition will be followed. So we are not discussing about the current waveforms. We can clearly see that the current waveforms will always be positive. So it will depend on what type of loads we are considering here. We can directly sketch the current waveforms. So here also we can clearly see that is when that is here for 0 degree and all the other degrees, thyristor and diodes will only conduct, and when alpha is becoming greater than 60 degree, a freewheeling diode will conduct. For a smaller portion, freewheeling diode will be conducting. That is when alpha is greater than 60 degree. At that duration only freewheeling diode will come into picture. And when my alpha is becoming near to 120 degree, I can clearly see that freewheeling diode is also there, thyristor and diode is also conducting, and also a portion because of EMF, that is idle period, is also present in the operation of a semi converter. Now let us look into the how to get the average voltage. As I have said, there are two cases when two peaks are there, when one peak is there. So three phase, therefore 3 divided by 2 pi, because I am considering the full cycle. Now the limit that I am going to take is minus pi by 6 minus alpha to pi by 6, and I will be adding, two peaks are there, so I will be first adding the first peak Vm1, and I will be adding the second peak. For the second peak my limit will be minus pi by 6 plus alpha in VML cos omega t d omega t. Two peaks I will be considering. So as I have said, when alpha is less than 60 degree, I will be having two peaks. This is the limit for the first peak, this is the limit for the second peak. Now let us see how this limit we are getting. So I have considered the waveform where I am having two peaks. I have considered this. So for getting the average output voltage, what I have to do is I have to integrate the area under this curve. So how I will integrate? For integration, as I have said, there are two peaks. So I will consider the first peak. Considering the first peak, the center, I will be considering this to be the origin, or O dash I will be considering. So clearly it can be seen that this is 90 degree here, this is 90 degree here. Now I have to integrate only up to this portion. So clearly I know that this is going to be 30 degree, this is going to be 60 degree. So as earlier we have said, that is, if this is my full waveform, this is 60 degree, 120 degree, 180 degree, this is 90 degree. So it means that this is 60 degree, this is 30 degree, because 60 plus 30 is only going to be 90. Then again this is 30 and this is 60. 30 I'll be writing as pi by 6, 60 I'll be writing as pi by 3, and 90 I'll be writing as pi by 2. Now let us consider this. Now this is my center line. If I am going to the negative direction, I am going 30 degree, and to the positive direction I'll be considering only up to this portion, and to the positive direction also I am going 30 degree I am going, pi by 6 I am going, and to the negative direction, this was 30 degree. To the negative direction I am going 30 degree minus alpha I am going, and to the positive direction I am going pi by 6. That is to the because this was 30 degree, this is from here to here is 30 degree, so I have to do 30 degree minus alpha in the negative direction, and in the positive direction I have to go 30 degree, I have to go 30 degree or pi by 6 I have to go. So the limit that I will be using is minus pi by 6 minus alpha, and for plus I will be using the limit to be pi by 6 plus alpha. So therefore when I was integrating, the first limit that I had taken was pi by 6 minus alpha to pi by 6. This was the first limit that I have taken. The second limit that I am going to take is, I will be considering this waveform. I will be considering, now this is a full wave and this is the 90 degree that I am having. So here it is going 30 degree, completely 30 degree it is going, and here also it is going 30 degree, but a component of alpha is also added. So I will be writing, in the negative direction I am going 30 degree, and in the positive direction I am going 30 degree plus alpha I am going. The second limit, when I'm integrating the second limit that I am taking is minus pi by 6, because I am going 30 degree in the negative direction, and in the positive direction I am going 30 degree plus alpha. So therefore I will be writing pi by 6 plus alpha. So after finally integrating, this is the value that I will be getting, 3 VML by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha. This is when alpha is less than 60 degree. This is how we will be deriving when alpha is less than 60 degree. Now let us move on to the second case, when my alpha's value is becoming greater than 60 degree. Now in that duration as well, what I will do is, this is my full waveform. Now full waveform 60, 120, 180, this is 90 degree. Now we can clearly see that if I am moving to the previous direction, this is 30 degree, this is 90 degree. So clearly I can see that only from here I am getting conduction, and this is equal to alpha. So I can clearly write 90 degree minus alpha in my negative direction, and in my positive direction, till where I am going, in my positive direction the full 90 degree conduction is there. So in the positive direction I will be going 90 degree I will be going. So in the negative direction 90 degree minus alpha, and in the positive direction 90 degree. Therefore the expression of V0 is equal to 3 by 2 pi. That is 3 phases I am having, and the whole cycle I am considering. So here in the negative portion pi by 2 minus alpha, and here pi by 2 plus pi by 2. So this is how I will be considering this, and my limit will be VML cos omega t into d omega t. Integrating that also I will be getting the same value. I will be getting 1 plus cos alpha. So this is how I will be deriving expression for my average output voltage. So if I know V0, I can easily calculate the value of I0. I can calculate the value of power. I can calculate the value of power factor. VOR, from this definition also the RMS values I can calculate. So if I am calculating VOR, I can also calculate the value of IOR as well. So this was something about 3-phase semi-converters.